I just want to remind you that you're going to crush it today.
Yo, welcome back to the lab. I'm your host, Elias Benjaloon. Join me as we dive into the science behind the hustle of badass entrepreneurs working smarter, not just harder. In every experiment, we're going to dive in on business tactics and life lessons, enjoy some hip hop, and experience a moment of gratitude. Thank you so much for being here. Now let's win this digital revolution together. As always, we're going to kick things off with some dope music, so I'll see you in there. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Hustle Science Experiment. Super excited today because we've got Jessica Steele in the house all the way from the East Coast. She is the founder of the Steele social media agency. Jessica, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great. I'm excited to be on here. I've been looking forward to it.
Awesome. Love it. How about you kick things off? Tell us the story that got you into entrepreneurship and digital marketing in the first place. Like, how'd you end up in this weird world?
I actually graduated with a major in literature. So not a lot you can do with that, but other than teach. But I actually find that a lot of other marketers major in literature. So I don't think I'm the only one, but I wanted to be able to write and be creative. So I've been in marketing since forever, since I graduated. And I found that it was kind of a lucky guess because more and more marketing is kind of as you know, a mix of data and, the rational side of the brain, and then also the creative side of the brain. So I just love it.
Hell yeah. That's super exciting. And I feel like coming from the English background definitely has helped with all the copywriting and the actual writing that comes with marketing. What got you to start Steele social media?
Good question. I don't really know. I just had this, I've always had this this desire to want to do my own business. I think it's part of this characteristic I have where I always want to challenge myself. So once I kind of conquer one area of my life, or it's great to be in marketing because there's so many different areas of marketing to kind of conquer. I just take ownership in that kind of stuff. So the idea of creating my own business and being able to just experiment and have a little bit more creative leeway in my own marketing of my own business. And it's really fun to be able to do that and then take what works, make mistakes and make calculated risks that allow me to grow my business, I think, faster than some larger corporations do, and then be able to apply what I learn to my clients. It's super fun to me.
Love it.
And it kind of allows me to be like a little mini scientist, like making hypothesis and then going for it. So it's just fun for me.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it that way. I mean, marketing is definitely a science, right? We're experimenting in real time with our other target audiences, other humans. So it's a really good perspective to have on that. How long have you been doing the agency for? And I know you've got some experience in the corporate marketing world too. So How long in total would you say you've been in the marketing space, and then of that, your agency?
Well, I've been in corporate marketing since 2008.
Nice.
And then I've been marketing completely solo for about a little over 2 years now.
Awesome.
So it's been an interesting journey for sure.
Very cool. Well, I'm super excited for this episode because we have, for today's business tactics, something pretty high level. So I'm excited for you to kind of shed some light on this topic. So how about we kick things off with the business tactic? You can come in as the teacher for today's episode. What are we going to learn about today?
Sure. So one of the things that I'm actually teaching some of my clients and implementing at the same time for them is basically a new way to do content marketing. So a lot of my clients are in tech, telecom, security, more of a B2B industry, but this strategy that I'm going to discuss can very easily be applied to either. But what I actually take, this process that I take them through, the goal of it is to be able to create, instead of creating just massive amounts of content, as has been the tradition in B2B marketing for a really long time. Everyone knows that you have to create content and become the thought leader. Everyone loves saying that word. But that's become so popular and just the kind of the norm now that everyone's throwing out all this content and no one's reading it. And corporations go through all of this work to get something written, edited, designed, put up on their website, and then it just kind of sits there, and they might post some things on social media or put it out to their email distro. So they might get, you know, if they're lucky, a couple hundred clicks, and then it just kind of sits there, and there's no news feed reach on social media anymore. So it's kind of really demoralizing as a marketer, because you put in all that work and you don't get any return for it. So my current tactic, and again, this could change tomorrow because marketing always does, is to collect data before you actually create it. You have to be in the mindset of it's okay to be imperfect for a little bit, because you basically create super simple advertisements that are just literally the name of the potential free resource, free content in the ad. And I run those on Facebook. So the reason why it's just literally the name of the content in the graphic is because you want to remove all of the variables. Your goal here is not to actually get new clients with the ads, it's to collect data. And Facebook is so cheap right now, and it's so targeted to the exact clients you want. It's so much cheaper to get data running advertisements with Facebook right now than to actually do like pay for survey monkey results.
Oh yeah. So what kind of data are you looking at, and like what kind of insights are you drawing from that?
Yeah, so we run those, and we usually can complete the data collection in under $20 of ad spend, which is kind of insane. Yeah, and so what we look at is actually how low the cost per clicks were. Which is basically Facebook's way of telling you, you know, there's a lot of interest here, and that's why the cost is low. So we'll do probably about 5 or 6 different ideas, and then as soon as we find out what the winner is, we take that and then we actually create the content. And so the reason why I say you have to be imperfect is because they'll go to a landing page and we'll have to put up a message say, hey, we're making some edits or adjustments to the content. Thanks for giving your email. We'll shoot it out to you when it's available. But I have to remind the perfectionists out there in the world that this is, so a lot of times you won't even get a download yet. But if you do, you can always follow up with that one download. And you have to remember this is like one person in an audience of maybe hopefully like 500,000 people at least. And then, so long story short, you can create the content that that you know that your specific targeted audience will really want, rather than just creating all this content. So when you do create the landing page and you do create the content, you can then go and optimize the landing page using that content that you know that works. And then you kind of keep doing that process down the funnel. So you test for, you know, if you're doing a tripwire or a webinar or whatever it is, you can keep collecting the data before you actually create it. So the end goal is to create automated lead gen all through down to the funnel until the point of sale or call with your business, and just keep optimizing. So it's pretty cool.
That is super cool. And I love it because like you could even like extend this to testing out offers, right? But even in the content marketing space, it makes a whole ton of sense. Like, so is this like part of a service that you offer to like corporate brands that want to do content marketing, and then you just tell them, hey, like one of the key differences with us, and everybody should be doing this, is like if you're going to spend 2 grand or however much it's going to be, sometimes way more than that, to create long form content, the landing page, all of this entire campaign, you should at least spend like $100 or a few $100 on like some split tests to see what is going to be the best performing content. And I feel like the results you're getting are definitely like way worth the investment, because if you have a difference on like a piece of content that is like a $2 click versus like a 50 cents click, then like it's a, you know, before you invest all the money into producing the content, scaling it up with ads, like knowing that is super important. I feel like people don't do that in their traditional split testing. They'll come up with the content themselves and then split test the headline on promoting the content. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. What got you to think about that and start doing that as part of your process?
I actually took a course on someone who had done something a little bit familiar from like an engineering standpoint, and I just kind of took that idea and ran with it and started doing it
Nice.
for myself and a couple of my clients. But the biggest, and I think you would ask me if I do this with corporate clients, and I do. Right now we're doing a couple case studies on it. So actually doing the whole funnel, and then we're going to share our results. But the biggest challenge I see is that corporations have been really burned by advertising, and people either in-house or externally that say they know how to run ads, and they run a bunch of ads and they don't see results from it. So I'm really, really focused right now on getting those case studies in to show, you know, this is actually what you'll see. And we do test things like offers, like all the way down the funnel. So we can test pretty much everything.
That's super cool. So yeah, I love that. So that's definitely the big lesson of today, is to split test everything, and like your split
Yeah. Or
test.
like 6 ways test things.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like it. So I'm really excited for that case study to come out. I think that's going to be pretty major, especially for you in like the paid advertising space for corporate, because I've seen that too, where like, and it's just the reality. Like if you're spending your own, like like most business owners, you're spending your own dollars, your own budget, and your own advertising. You know, like for me and my advertising, like we go all the way out to make sure that we're getting the biggest bang for our buck. But there's a lot of corporations out there with, you know, marketing teams that, you know, to them it's just like, okay, well, this is our $20,000 budget this month, we got to spend it on ads. Like it's just such a, you know, backwards way of thinking, because then that money gets spent and like the most people have to show for it maybe some impressions data.
Yeah, I hate, like, that's my big pet peeve, is when people are just spending marketing budget because they know they should have marketing, but is not really a lead gen system. That frustrates me a little bit, because digital marketing can work for almost every business, even if you're in service, or, I mean, I know I'm preaching to the choir right now, but yeah.
You said there were like 6 different ways that you would split test. Could you like throw us a couple? So you would split test the actual the actual lead magnet. What are some other things that you would split test when creating this like bulletproof funnel?
Yeah. So, well, I guess the word split test is kind of hanging me up, because we're not doing like A/B testing. We're actually like testing 6 different variations
Yeah.
of the actual resource. And the thing is, like, all the testing you can do, like anything that you have a question about, like, hey, I'm not sure if this benefit speaks, or this image, like anything you want to put on your landing page, I would test via the advertisement itself, because the data starts getting smaller once you reach the landing page. So you're testing on the Facebook you know, news feed, and that's like, I don't know, 400 impressions are maybe a couple bucks, versus how many of those people actually click and then land on your landing page, and then you're testing like how many landing page numbers convert. So you have to get so many visits to your landing page for that to convert to a lead. And the further down the funnel you get, the more costly it is to get enough traffic to test those. So I always say anything you want to test to throw in the ad and remove all the other variables and just test that. So if you're trying to figure out which image will be like the most eye-catching on your landing page, and just test like 6 different images on the ads and see if people click through. Like there's so many things. I mean, you have to be a little bit strategic about it, but always ads are the number one way to test versus anything on the landing page. But you can test anything, call to actions, subheaders, graphics, I said, benefit messaging, which offers you're doing, which webinar topics you want to do. Yeah, everything.
Super cool. Very awesome. Thank you so much for that, lesson on that, Jessica. I really appreciate it. We're going to move things into the moment of gratitude for today's episode. What is something that you're feeling particularly grateful for today?
Honestly, as a business owner, you realize how important your networks are. And people who are, vouching for you and, introducing you to their networks and trusting you, you realize how important that is. And I know even in-house people, when you're moving into different careers or whatnot, I just have a lot of gratitude for, people who might not be super close to me, but still make the effort to get to know me more and branch out into their networks. That I'm always really grateful for those people.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love it. Piggybacking on top of that, yeah, I'm super grateful for, my team and grateful for the relationships that we're building with our clients. I mean, and when you're building an agency, and I think my take on it, when you're building an agency, you're really building lifelong friendships and lifelong clients, and you're helping them grow their business. So I'm, grateful for all the relationships that we formed and we're maintaining now. And I can really see a really, bright future with everybody. So thank you for sharing your moment of gratitude.
Of course, anytime. I love that.
Awesome. Now to go into the life lesson segment. Today you had a really interesting topic. Let's dive right into that. What is the life lesson for today's episode?
Yeah, so this is definitely something I learned the hard way. And that is vouching for, or not vouching, but being an advocate for getting marketing budget and not thinking that doing everything yourself and bootstrapping everything is going to prove your awesomeness in marketing. Because I know in marketing, everyone wants to know the most or have the best strategy or, all of that stuff, which is important. But a lot of the times, especially in today's world with advertising and so forth, a lot of times you have to pay to play. And if you're not vouching for that budget, you have to know that you're worth it and you can use it very wisely to make your business go further. And I know how hard it is to ask for money sometimes, but marketing a lot of times is the last to be thought of as far as budget. And I think that really, really has to change. And for anyone trying to grow their career, be an advocate. If you're at the executive table, just, illustrate to your team why marketing is so important and connect what that budget will go towards the top line corporate goals. That's so important.
Awesome. I love it. And I feel like this is a really good perspective to have. This is super, a massive value bomb, whether you're listening in as a marketing director or working in a marketing company, whether it's a small business or it's a big corporation or you're freelancing or you're building your own agency, this applies. Because in the marketing rooms, when you're meeting with the business owner, meeting with the corporate team, definitely can't be, and I see this, even from my own experience and other marketers, okay, sure, we can do the graphic design too. Okay, yeah, we need the paid ads. Okay, great, I'll do that too. And the emails, sure, I'll do that too. And you end up in a point where it's so many different things that need to be done. They're definitely not the best person to do each of those different elements, and you don't have the time to do it, when really, as the marketing director in a corporate job or in a business or even in an agency, you should also be thinking is like from an operations perspective, like, okay, who can fill in these different, like, these are all the different things that need to get done now. Who's the best person that I can plug in? And definitely
Right.
that just results, like, the like bottom line of it is you need more budget so you can hire more people or invest in the paid advertising. And if you never ask for that money and you never even have the money to reach 100,000 people, then like it's going to be really tough to make your case to be successful long term. So I guess people got to just not be afraid. They got to take that chance on themselves. Otherwise, they're never going to get that opportunity to prove really that they can be successful at marketing.
You're so right.
What
Definitely.
was could you share a personal story on like maybe where you've had to like realize this lesson either in like a corporate gig or with one of your clients?
Yeah, no, my clients are awesome. I think they really get the importance, and that's why they're investing in me. I think where I learned this the most is probably I'll keep it vague. One of my in-house marketing positions, and the growth of the company was rested on marketing's shoulders. But no budget. and I've been lucky enough that I've been able to experiment in all the different areas of marketing and been very hands-on. So I could do a lot of it myself, and I did, whether it was, website design. Luckily I had a team, so they were able to do things like the social media, the blog posts, but we did everything from a billion events. We did outbound direct mail campaigns. If you name a strategy in marketing, I'm sure my team and I did it, and they were amazing. But we weren't able to do some of the things that I think could have moved the needle even more, like advertising. And I think that's really unfortunate. And I think I learned my lesson there, that I really have to be an advocate for my team and for marketing, and for myself as a consultant. Like, I have to invest in my own business, and I have to do the things that I tell my marketing team to. And to your point, to also know when to say no and, know your own worth. So I know all entrepreneurs and marketers have that problem of, how much can you juggle while still doing a quality job?
Yeah,
it's really important.
Definitely. And a huge part of that like comes down to investing in your team, investing in a software, and like you said, like doing what you tell your clients, like you have to invest money into their marketing. We also have to invest in our own businesses. So absolutely. Very
And
awesome.
investing in yourself too, as a marketer, and going to conferences and learning and taking that time too. There's so much to juggle.
Or they could skip all that and listen to my podcast.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Like, yeah, it's all of it. It's all of it. Super, very cool. Thank you so much, Jessica. Like, I really appreciate the lessons on, I know I keep saying split testing. I get that it's testing in general. I'm really excited to share that. And then this life lesson on making sure that people know that they are enough and that they need to take a chance on themselves. And, that needs to bleed through in everything else that they do in their business and in their work. Otherwise, they'll never get that kind of success they want. Is there anything else you want to add in?
No, I don't think so. If they want more information on the split testing, it's still in the works, those testimonials. So anytime you sign up to any of my downloads or follow me on social, you'll get notified when those are ready. So
where's the best place for people to get in touch with you or follow you?
So Steele, socialmedia.com, and Steele is spelled with an E on the end, so it's Steele. And if you follow me on Instagram, I have that infamous link tree, so you'll see all my most current offers and freemiums and all that fun stuff.
Awesome, sweet. Well, we'll make sure to drop all the links. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.